And I'm going to try each of these in a different way so that you can see how you can do trumpet-shaped flowers. And so if you do them face down, you want to cut off, I recommend cutting off the tail. If you don't, this is going to fall down and stick out, which isn't necessarily bad. But if I'm doing it face down, I love to just have that star shape. So this one doesn't actually have the stem on it, so I'm going to use this one. But you do need to be careful that you don't cut down too far. And you put it face down first so that it will keep the parts that actually fall out will be in there, but it will stick when it presses. So this one, I'm just going to lay on its side and I'm going to fold these down so when it presses, you'll see parts of the middle. And this one, debating on cutting it in half. This one I'm going to do face down too, because I just love that shape. I'm not going to cut as much of the tail off so that you can, actually I'm going to leave the tail on that one. So then you can see the difference between cutting it and not cutting it. So this is actually going to end up folding over. They're getting really close to being done. Oops. Try not to bump your flowers. Don't want them to wrinkle. They kind of stick a little bit, so you gotta be careful when touching them. So it's just going to need a very short burst. those are feeling good. They're not sticky anymore. So let's flip it over. And so we can get the liner off the other side. So this is just the difference between leaving the tail on or taking it off. It just comes down to preference or what you're using it for. If you're going to put the stem back on it in a picture, obviously you'd want the tail. But this just gives a nice shape. And this one we did with a profile. Now you might notice the color, it's changed. This is normal for reds. Reds often turn this maroon color, purple. Depending on their shade of red, you'll get different shades of purple. There are a few flowers that will stay red, like verbena, but many red flowers will turn, and even sometimes pink, will turn this color. I think it's just the pigments. Once you get the moisture out, this is the dominant pigment that shows. But that's not necessarily the scientific reason. That's just my theory on it. But it does happen. And it doesn't matter whether you've pressed it in the microwave or whether you've pressed it a traditional way. Once it's dry, it changes color. So don't worry about that.